Today I'm sharing all the essential gear I use for filming videos. I'm gonna walk you through the camera gear I use, the luggage I pack, and a few other must-haves. I'm super excited to give you guys a behind the lens look at how I bring my content to life. So without further ado, it's been a highly requested video. Let's get into it. First up, we got my drone. This is the DJI Mini 3 Pro drone with the Fly More combo, which just means I get a couple more batteries, a controller with a screen on it, which is really nice, a couple more propellers. These are super important to bring when you're on a shoot. I've crashed this thing before and destroyed the propellers, but luckily I had some extras with me. And also I got some ND filters for it, which are a must if you're flying a drone, because when you're flying over water or even over land, it gets super bright. And it's basically the sunglasses for your drone. I love this drone. I used to have the big old Mavic drone, but it was just too big to bring anywhere. So this little guy, super light, and it fits in a backpack or wherever I need to take it. So it doesn't take up much space, and the shots from it are awesome. They totally mix up a video, I think. So I think a drone is essential on my list. Next on the list, I have my GoPro. There it is. This is my GoPro Hero 9. My Hero 12 got stolen when I did a mud run a little bit ago, but I think GoPro's on the Hero 13 when I filmed this video. I have a love-hate relationship with these cameras. I feel like their image quality just really isn't there compared to my nice camera, but they can get shots that any other camera can't get. I can do a whole video on these cameras, from the settings I shoot on them to the mounts I use, but to keep it simple, my favorite mount is the bite mount. You just put it in like this, you film whatever you want, your hands are free. Yeah, no, it's awesome. And then my second favorite mount, just a little handle. And with these two mounts, you can really get just about 95% of the GoPro shots you're ever gonna want in a video. Lastly, make sure you have a floaty in the water, whether it be a floaty handle or the actual floaty that goes with the GoPro. I have lost one in the water. It drowned, so always make sure if you're around water, you have some way that it can float. And for the batteries, I love the Enduro batteries. I have a ton of them, as you can see. Life hack, number your batteries with just like Sharpie, and you won't get them mixed up. And when one dies, you can just put it at the end of the row, and you know which batteries are charged and which aren't. And then all of it just fits in this little case right here. I don't know, I got it off of Amazon somewhere, just to keep everything contained, because GoPros have a lot of small little parts that can easily get lost in a suitcase. All right, next up we have my vlogging setup. So first up, we got my brand new camera, the Sony FX30. This thing has already upped my game tremendously. It's got dual SD card slots, so it's a professional camera. It's got the Rode Wireless Mic Pro on it, which is a lot bigger of a microphone than my previous setup. Like, that thing is huge. But the sound quality is much, much better than my previous mic as well. My go-to lens for this camera when I'm vlogging is the Sony 10 to 18 millimeter lens f4. However, it does have the optical steady shot on it, which is really nice and keeps my shaky hand much smoother. My second lens, which is my long lens, is the Tamron 17 to 70 millimeter f2.8, which is much better for low light capability. I've been loving this lens for getting my B-roll shots recently. In my past 2 videos, I'm pretty sure I used this for. It's an awesome lens, highly recommend. Couldn't afford the Sony one yet, but the Tamron works just fine for what I'm doing. And then for my filters, I have a variable ND filter right here. I use that just about anytime I film my camera because it allows me to keep my f-stop really low. I used to not use a variable ND filter, and I'd be at like f22, which is like awful. Don't ever do that. Get a variable ND filter. It helps a ton. And then I have my new lens, which I kind of am trying out. It's a mist filter, so when you put it on the camera and look up at a light, it kind of blurs it a little bit and makes it a little bit more cinematic. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? I have 4 batteries for this camera because I never want to run out of juice. I only had 2 for my last camera and it wasn't enough. So I upped my game. I got this neat little charging case as well. And I have 2 Sony batteries and 2 off-brand, because the Sonys do last a lot longer than the off-brand ones, but off-brand will get you by in a pinch, especially if you have a couple of them. Next up, we have my tripod for vlogging, or GorillaPod. I think just about every vlogger uses these things. They're awesome, especially if you're on ground that's not even. You can kind of adjust the legs and put it wherever you need to. The legs do loosen over time. I haven't found a way to fix that other than buying a new one. So, also I just got this one with this like adjustable ball head. I love it personally. You don't have to adjust the legs as much, which should keep the lifespan longer, but we'll see. And then obviously everyone needs a big tripod. You would be surprised at how little I use one of these. They're just a pain to set up because I kind of have a cheap one, and I don't really ever need a shot that I can't just set the camera down on like a chair or on my car. So the tripod doesn't get used as much as it should, but I'm a vlogger. Also, I have almost dropped my camera and have dropped my camera many times. I have vowed to not drop my brand new camera. So I got a camera strap here, but I always thought they were a pain because they would be in the way when I'm filming or just like get caught on things. So I want to be able to take it on and off super easy. So I got this Peak Design slide camera strap, and like the name implies, it just slides right onto these little dongles you put on to your camera. And just boom, it's on like that. I don't use it as much as I wish I did, but I have a camera strap and I can't ever use it as an excuse that I didn't have one and I dropped my camera because of it. Also, audio, besides my mic that I use 90% of the time on my camera, I also have wireless mics, which I bought before because I used to film weddings and I would mic up the groom with these wireless mics. I have the Rode Wireless Go 2, that's what they're called. I wish I had the DJI Mic Mini. They just came out with it. It looks insane. DJI is just like totally taking over the camera game, I think. But these work, and I also have a lav mic that I kind of can put one of these in my pocket, string this up through my shirt. Looks really clean. Don't really use that much though, so if you're gonna spend money on camera gear, I would just say camera, mic, and a GorillaPod, and right there you can probably film the majority of your videos, and really only one lens to start out. Second lens kind of optional, but I think it gives really good B-roll, and if you've committed to making videos, you definitely need to up your camera gear, which is what I'm doing now. Oh, I'll also add to this category of cameras. I covered the GoPro, covered my nice camera. One of my main cameras I also use is my iPhone. I think this is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's insanely good quality for what it is. It's always in my pocket, and I use this thing to get supplemental shots or just to record a whole segment, honestly. iPhones have gotten so good, and I know many YouTubers and like famous Instagrammers, TikTokers that only use their phones, so you don't need a big nice camera, but it is nice to have, and I think it looks really good. But if you want to get into the game, iPhone obviously can start you out and carry you a long way. Just had to throw that in there. Next category, mission control, which I would say is kind of everything back office related. It's not camera equipment, but I still need it in order to make a video and save the footage, edit, all of that. So first up, we got my 2021 MacBook Pro 16-inch. This thing has been a beast recently. It's got 2 terabytes worth of storage, 32 gigabytes worth of memory. I know it has the Apple M1 chip in it, but this thing has been awesome. I kind of wish I had the 14-inch MacBook Pro. This thing is just a little bit beefy when you're traveling around and it's on your back. So I would recommend getting the smaller version if you're trying to travel via backpack. But when I'm living out my car or when I'm at home editing, this thing is amazing, and I do love the big screen, but obviously weight is a factor when getting a big screen. Let's move on to storage. So I have a couple different devices I use. Let's start off with the Lacy Rugged Mini 4 terabyte external hard drive. This thing has been kind of good. I've had one fail on me in the past, so I kind of have PTSD about using these. Any hard drives I'm kind of weary of because I know they have lifespan to them, and they're also have moving components inside, so you can't really be that rugged with them, even though it's got this rugged material. So these are kind of where all my archives go right now. And then I use my external SSDs to store my current projects and any media I need to get immediately, because these things are way faster than the hard drives, and there's no moving components, so they are more durable. They're super tiny. Like, look at this thing. I could fit 4 terabytes in this compared to this big thing. It's a game changer, let's just say that. I actually prefer to use the Samsung T7 Shield over the SanDisk Extreme Pro, because I've noticed that the Samsung works extremely better when transferring files from your iPhone and then moving them onto your computer, whereas the SanDisk gets really slow and sometimes doesn't even transfer the files from your phone. If you have the new iPhones, you can hook them up via USB-C and transfer the footage from them into the SSD and then onto your computer. That is really nice, because AirDrop can be really slow when you're doing so many files at once. Yeah, the SSDs, highly recommend. I would do 2 terabytes minimum on them, and then for the hard drives, 4 terabytes minimum. But obviously if you're not shooting that much, you can kind of go down in storage capacity. Oh, obviously a dongle. If you're in the Apple ecosystem, you know all about these. I like to use one with SD card readers, USB, and another HDMI port. They're super clunky when they're connected, especially if you're on an airplane or somewhere where you don't have large desk area to work. But I've seen people kind of put them here and then tape them onto the back of their computer. Also the same with the SSDs, they tape them back here so you don't have all these wires and things dangling around that can disconnect easily. I guess I'll also mention my case that I use. Just got it from Amazon, and put all my SSDs, everything in the top here, and my computer fits perfectly right in the sleeve. Whew! I did not realize how much talking this video is gonna be about gear. I feel like travel videos are almost like easier to make because there's other things going around and I'm not just here staring at you guys talking. Like, I feel like my words have to be perfect when I'm in this environment of talking. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. And we're gonna move on to the luggage I use. This is actually my favorite category. This is my hiking backpack that has now become my travel carry-on for planes. I use it for obviously backpacking. This thing, it's super lightweight. I love it, holds all my gear. I think I always prefer more space than less now because I don't want to worry about if I can fit everything back in when I'm going home. Also, this thing can kind of be a transformer a little bit. It can be my day pack, or it can be my month-long excursion mobile. Mobile? My month-long excursion luggage. Yes, my month-long excursion luggage. Love this thing. Let me introduce you to my favorite carry-on luggage. It's totally changed the game when I travel, and they're also the sponsor of today's video, Level 8. Now, I used to be a big duffel bag guy whenever I would travel, but after Level 8 sent me this hard-sided carry-on suitcase, it has totally changed my opinion on hard-sided luggage, and this is the only thing I want to use now. Also, whenever I stay in hostels or hotels, I'm usually pretty worried about my expensive camera gear getting stolen. Thankfully, they have a locking system on these, so you just put in your code, unlock it like this. It's zipperless too, which is genius, and it opens up seamless. I think I might have a little bit of OCD in me, so all their organizing pockets inside of here really allow me to stay neat and tidy whenever I travel. I'm a big believer in the saying, buy nice or buy twice, and Level 8 absolutely delivers on quality. I mean, this thing, it's built to last, and I trust it to go on every adventure I can take it on. Also, it has really nice wheels. If you're ready to upgrade your luggage game now, 15% off your next Level 8 suitcase. Trust me, reliable luggage makes all the difference. I've linked the exact suitcase in my description as well, so go check it out. My day pack. This Topo Designs backpack has been amazing for when I go work at a coffee shop or if I just need to go film something quick. It's the perfect size for just a little day trip, and I know I use the word love for everything I own, but for real, for this backpack, I love it. It's amazing. Fits everything I need, and it looks really cool. Like, look at this. It's my coolest looking piece of gear I think I own. All of Topo Design stuff is like this. Go check them out. Finally, we have my fanny pack. Yes, it's Lululemon. I took it from my mom. It worked amazing when I was over in Europe, when I'm dealing with all my cash, my passport, everything. I don't use it too much anymore, but Europe, you need a fanny pack. I have no idea what time length I'm at in this video right now. I'm also losing my mind while filming this, so I'm just gonna spit off these next couple items fast. This next category, I like to call it the must-haves. This is everything I use to travel with, but it's not camera gear, it's not luggage, it's just the essentials of when I'm traveling. A headlamp. This thing has saved me time and time again. You don't have to be camping to use one. It saved me when the power's gone out. I can read at night with it. It's amazing. Always have a headlamp. Also, I use it for filming myself when I need extra light. It's pretty good for that. Headlamp. A sleep mask, because travel gets tiresome sometimes and I need to be able to take a nap. This one in particular, eye cups fit so good, and there's speakers in the side, so when I'm laying down, they don't crush my ear like an AirPod does. It's super nice. A speaker, because the vibes always need to be high, and the best way to do that is through music. One size does not fit all, which is why I have 3 different ones here, but if I had to pick, this isn't sponsored, I would probably do this little guy right here. I love it. A hat, because you always have messy hair when you travel, and it also keeps you protected. I never go anywhere without a watch anymore. Time is valuable to me. Sunglasses, I look like Doc Ock with these, I love it. A water bottle, this collapsible one is pretty neat. It allows me to save a ton of space in my bag when my water runs out. An air tag, I put one of these in every piece of luggage when I'm traveling. A small towel because things can get pretty wet. And a dry bag because things get wet. Sorry, I was listening to my headphones. These things are crucial. I never go anywhere without them. I probably should add them to my mission control because I need these for editing. And finally, my cable station. This keeps all my cables organized, from USB-C to Apple charger to my blocks to portable charger. I mean, this thing has it all. I mean, I charge all my camera gear with this, my laptop, my phone. If your cables aren't organized and you just throw them in a bag, you're gonna miss a couple and you're not gonna be able to charge your camera or your laptop, which would be terrible when you fly so far to go on a trip. So one of these cable organizers, super important to me. And just like that, this video has come to an end. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you learned something. Maybe you'll go spend all your money on gear now. Please don't. But if you do, my Amazon storefront is linked in my description. Also, if you want to check out some of this gear in person, I'm hosting a group trip to Thailand at the end of this year, so sign up for that. Also, I create a Patreon, so you can sign up for that to get extra content from me, and I'll probably be updating my gear reviews there as well. So thank you guys for watching, and stay adventurous. I leave on a trip in 3 hours. It's gonna be very cold where I'm going. See ya.